620 litres. Yeah, okay. It's taking its time. There we go. Mostly full. I think we're full now. That's 713 pounds to fill up a tank of gas. Nice. I'll run that round here. But yeah, you look on the map on this, and frankly, most of the fields are either withered or never planted. Move forward a little bit. And we can turn that engine off there. And that's ready for later. That's a header trailer. I'm going to move this thing out of the way first, just because it's in the way. So, I'm going to have to sell 1% of the crop to finish the contract. But I think on Ungelsheim, I can't remember if it was second day of mid-fall or first day. But we only have until the end of the third day of mid-fall. And all of a sudden there's a ton of harvesting contracts on there. And fertilising contracts. I have one tractor. And using workers kind of defeats the point of doing a contract. But then again, on Ungelsheim, part of the aim of that game is to finish off all the fertilising contract, or do the 100 contracts for the achievement thing. This field looks to be, for the most part, not badly affected. So it's just those two patches on the northern western field. Yeah, I don't actually need the mini-map open, but it kind of helps to give me north, south, east, west. Back in Farm Sim 17, of course, I had the compass at the top of the screen, which showed the direction of the vehicle you were in was travelling, and you could use that as a poor man's GPS, and drive to 0 and 180 and pretty much cover a field very efficiently. But here they've incorporated the compass into the mini-map, and I'm really not used to looking down there to see that I'm driving 357.7 degrees. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to end up with both the Fendt and probably the truck at field side for the sugar beet, just so that we've got more unload capacity. I mean, this is 20,000 litres. The truck has 47. Also depends where we have to sell the stuff. I may have to go with the truck with a tipper trailer, which is only about 20,000 as well. Whoosh. Cement truck up ahead. That should be at the roundabout by the time we get there, so no big deals there. How long will we be going? 10 o'clock. So the stream's been running a little over an hour. Well, that's why I went sugar beets and not potatoes, because at least the tractor hauled sugar beet equipment is actually fairly usable, where the tractor hauled potato harvest equipment is painful. Also, I can get the fields topped fairly quickly. Typically what I'll do is I'll release a small tractor out into the field to top with narrow tyres and put that on a worker, and it does that really quickly. And then once the beets or the potatoes are topped, you can safely drive over and not destroy the crop. And so then I send another tractor out with the beet harvester, and it takes as long as it takes. Whoops. But we shall see. Okay, incoming money. Yay, money. Squeak. Do. Come on, unload. Contract finished. And 12,000 money. Nice. And just 5,000 for the contract itself. So, good income. 110. And we are going with one of those at 22 and one of those at 98, so a total of 120. We're 10,000 short, but we'll take out a small loan to cover that difference. And I think I'm happy with that. We got more than 10,000 in crops in the silos, which we'll be selling over the winter months. Oops. Don't know what that was. But yeah, normally I'd be topping with a little tractor like a Massey 5700 and then harvesting with something quite significantly bigger. I think our Valtra is a good contender for the beet harvester itself. We just don't have a small field tractor to do the other stuff. So I'm going to take this one up the lane to past the sawmill as well. I also might waste a little bit of money and put a pressure washer in the lower storage yard. Depends what the draper looks like. Obviously haven't taken a close look at it recently, but we still have, it's 10 o'clock, so we've still got 1 to 2 more hours depending on how soon Mrs. Osa wakes up. Our immediate plans this afternoon are, as soon as the stream's over, we'll have lunch, we're going grocery shopping, and then I probably need to get the tractor out and mow the grass. So it's gonna be kind of a busy afternoon here. I think I found the box with the board games in. So unfortunately it's tucked way back. We might investigate that later today. Okay. So, that's the tipper done. So how does this header look? Yeah, that needs to be cleaned. I guess we'll save money and go through the main entrance. It's closer than the sawmill entrance along the main road. Well, bouncy road. So there could potentially be cultivating contracts on both field 17 and 27. Again, they don't pay well, but if we're short for, I don't think we're going to be short for anything to do for the rest of fall. Primarily because we've got all of the beets to harvest. We've got the sunflowers, that's going to be quick. We've got a grass cut on our 2 grass fields, which will probably end up as silage again. So that's more than enough to do on our own farm without worrying about anybody else's. Now, since we don't have any sugar beet storage, I'm probably going to do straight to sale, which means that income will be immediate. It won't be the absolute best we can hope to achieve. So this, I kind of want to get the beets harvested and that field resown with a winter crop. Hopefully have enough time to put down oilseed radish and plough it in. Oh, that was bouncy. As far as beets for next year, I've only got one field I'm really confident letting the beet harvester loose on, and that's the one we had cereal crops on across the lane from the sunflowers field. So we're passing 6. What is that one? Field 1. I'm okay with running a beet harvester through that, but that other field up at the top there, number 8, yeah, that's not happening. There's too many fences getting in the way. So potentially only one field next year will be beet, unless I have enough money to buy a field. And yeah, beets are a spring plant, so we can buy a field over the winter and then cultivate that. Maybe plough it if it needs it. Good grief. Struggling. This is why I want the 130 Lindner if it's an option, but needs front loader arms. And I didn't notice that on the fact sheet. And it also needs 4-wheel steering. If it's got the 4-wheel steering and front loader arms, we'll be upgrading this tractor to the 130. If it doesn't, hey, maybe we'll go for a JCB, because that's also 4-wheel steer and a little bit more usable on field work. Okay, that's all cleaned up nicely, and Spray that down a little bit because picked up a little bit of dirt, and that's sufficient. Okay, we're done. Put that there, and we can put the draper away. How are we doing on fuel? We're good for that one. And those are all ready to prepare the field once we got the sunflowers in. Of course, the other problem with sugar beets is we're going to have to plough, and that's a heavy job at the best of times. But we have the tractors for it. I think we've got the Lindner 12, what's it? The big, not the Lindner, the Lemken big plough. So that shouldn't be too much of it. Okay, let's, how about we disconnect the trailer, not the front forks. That's good. Okay. I'm going to try and hold off doing services until winter, because obviously we have 0 jobs to do around on the farm except feed the sheeps. So ample time to run all of our equipment through the service shop. Probably end up looking at the state of, what button do I press? That one. So we can claim that. So our pallet fork is in the worst state, followed by the truck. And what's a Breedle K165? That's the spreader. We've done a lot with that. Bio belts, that's the log fork. That's the front mower. So, oh no, we've got worse. So the Fendt needs a service, but it's only at 50%. The Horse Tiger, that's cultivator. Front forks on the Fendt, the Lindner, the forks on, or the loader arms on that, and the harvester, and the header that we just parked out in the field. I might leave that parked out in the field and then service that before we need to start harvesting. So we do have a few bits of equipment that are going to need to be looked at. Didn't turn the engine off. But nothing that is in imminent trouble. So 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Looks like this has stopped loading again. And it's full, so that's a good thing. We're okay on fuel. We can just do a straight run down to the store. And we will run at times 15. I should have taken a wider turn there. As I said, should have taken a wider turn there. Although crashing the truck into the slurry pit, not as much of a trouble as wrapping the trailer around the barn. Try and reposition that. Try again. Yeah. It would, well, yeah, it would be nice to sell the cow shed and probably replace it with a machine shop. Storage shed, something like that. Because that would work quite nicely for us. It would negate the need for the lower yard. We're currently storing most of our stuff down the bottom here. Or we will be when I can afford some sheds. So much stuff I want to buy, so little money to buy it with. Well, at least we're ahead of the concrete truck. I think this was the truck we followed into the roundabout last time. Don't usually use semi-equipment on European farms. But for shipping silage to BGA, it's a little bit laborious to do it any other way. Although with law folds I used to have a truck and a tipper that I'd always run together, but still it's a long drive. And through the hedges, yay. So that's the 3 o'clock run. It's empty, yay. Full unload. That makes things a little bit easier. Oh, we'll also have income from all of this tonight. Okay, absolutely no worries about the harvesting equipment. I'm guessing we're going to have more than enough cash to pay for it once midnight comes around. This truck's another nice mod from Black Sheep Modding. Oh, you're not going to let me through, are you? Tough. I win. It's a little bit more stable than the in-game one because it's a 3-axle truck rather than 2. And it has couple of options. I can't remember it has a 3-point front attachment. Sometimes folks will give a truck mod 3-point linkage on the front, but I'm not sure this one came with that option. Plus, I decided I wasn't gonna be using that for any reason. I think the only time I've used a 3-point link on a truck was I played the Old Stream Farm and I fitted the Bruks wood chipper to it so I could have a trailer on the back and a wood chipper on the front. You drive the truck up to the tree, you chop through the tree trunk, and then you turn on get back in the truck and turn on the chipper. And the entire tree vanished and appeared as wood chips in the tipper. And I did that primarily because, the Oldstream Farm trees in 17 were such a pain. They're right along the edge of the field, and you couldn't even fit a small harvester underneath them. Okay, so how much we got left in here? 187. That's at least 4 more trips. We might not get all this done today. Gonna take a jump over to the PGA and find out. How quickly that's gone. That's nearly gone. So I can probably slow the time down now. So it's about 1 delivery every 4 hours, about 50,000 litres per hour that thing's processing. And 4 trips is 4 hours, it's 4 o'clock already. I'll probably do 2 more trips today. That'll put us on 6 o'clock. It won't empty that bunker, but it'll be around about 100,000 litres in it. And it'll give us something to do. It's gonna rain. Somebody didn't. Let's start off checking the sheep, not the cows. Okay, sheep could do with a little bit more stuff. 203,000 litres of stuff a year. They could do with a clean, but frankly, it's why bother? They're all at 97% health, so that's not a bad thing. We still have newborn sheep which aren't fertile. We've got mature sheep that are 2 years old, 2.4 years old. So the 2.4-year-old sheep were the ones we bought in the first batch. So I think you buy them at 1 year old, and then the 2-year-old ones we bought round about mid-fall at the end of the first year, and they delivered tiny sheep before the end of that year. It's supposed to affect production. So if you don't keep it clean, production will be lessened. Well, right now they're not producing any wool, and it looks like the latest patches on either the map or seasons means we only produce wool during spring. So you want to keep it clean over spring, and then once that's done, it really doesn't matter. They're healthy, 97% healthy. There's just a whole ton of decaying hay in their feed area. Plus it's going to rain later. That reminds me. It's going to rain later. What's the weather going to do? So from 3 o'clock today it's raining. So we got that harvesting contract out of the way quite nicely. 80% chance of rain, so not good. It'll be sunny all day tomorrow. It will be partly cloudy on Wednesday, so we need to do the math. That's not the math. It is late summer today, so full day 1, full day 2, full day 3, full day 4, day 5 and day 6. So day 5, and that's the last day of fall. So we've got a nice sunny day on the last day of fall. We got 50% chance of rain predicted for the first day of late fall. But good weather for the most of fall. Potentially we could lose, rain. Rain is good because it should reduce the risk of us losing any more sugar beets and any more sunflowers for that matter. It's going to rain tonight, and it's going to be dry from midnight onwards.